Hey, this is Jay Kumar, the Bass Blaster, and this is your Seafoam Top 5 of the Week in Bass Fishing. Here's number 1. Louisiana's Keith Poche, no relation to Louisiana's Cliff Crochet, won the Red River Open this weekend, and he was doing it fishing out of his little Gator Tracks tin boat. He got through a cut that he found using Google Earth map study and also a drone to suss it out before he got back there to see if he could get back there and fish it. He wanted flipping a Berkeley pit boss in that area the whole time. A lot of small fish on the Red River this year, but he squeezed out enough to beat Greg Hackney, but it almost didn't happen, which brings us to number 2. Keith got sabotaged. Okay, not that kind of sabotage, but it sounds like someone or someone's blocked the access to his cut or tried to before the last day of competition. Check this out.
They done turned that rock over. You see that moss line? So somebody's been over here last night after weigh-in, have been putting rocks out so I can't get in this hole.
Man, it looked like he was out of luck until a bunch of spectators literally jumped out of their boats and apparently started moving rocks so he could get into that place. Keith was on the phone with TD Hank Weldon at the time and got the blessing to go on in, and he got her done. Congrats, man. The Red River was an old school bass and flip fest. It was awesome to see. Man, if you weren't in the thick of it, up there shallow, getting grass on your boat carpet, it wasn't gonna happen for you. Forget about forward-facing sonar and little baits. Not needed.
Forget about it!
Flipping plastics was the deal, a little frogging, and I did talk to Greg Hackney, who finished second, and he said he did look for that Sasquatch pattern he won with the last time, but it wasn't happening. Number 4. All right, are we seeing or about to see a brand new type of bass fisherman? And yes, I'm talking about forward-facing sonar, but sort of. Because I'm not just talking about the guys who are getting it now and they're doing really well in tournaments. I'm talking about the guys growing up with it. It's just the way that they fish. They incorporate it into their fishing. They're not bolting it on to the way they've always fished and trying to figure it out. It's just part of them. Don't you think that's going to change the way they fish and the way they show us all how to fish for bass? Now, before you get your skirt in a twist, just remember that this so-called disruptive technology or whatever it is, it's happened a bunch of times in bass fishing, all the way back to Gary Klein bringing the new thing of flipping back east, I think in the 70s, maybe it was the 60s, the 70s. Aaron Martin's bringing the drop shot over. And then we had probably like 15 or 20 years ago, it wasn't just good enough to be great at one thing at the top tours. You know, you had to be good at everything. Versatility ruled the day, and it still does. So forward-facing sonar is now the leading edge once again, but this time it's going to be assimilated into the Bassin Borg. All right, by then I expect us all to know at least a dozen new ways of finding and catching fish. I can't wait, man. Isn't bassing great? Number 5. Man, bass fishing is so great it should be taught in school. And I mean like a class, not like a club. You know, get rid of something else and put bassing in there. Now, that's not my idea. That's actually Dave Mercer, who you know is the BassMaster MC, and he hosts his own fishing show, and he hosts his own podcast, and he does underwater videos and another 10 things. I don't know how he has time to think of these thoughtful answers to the questions I ask, but I asked him if you could change one thing in bass fishing, what would it be? And that's what he said. Teach bass fishing in school. Man, he said when people are introduced to fishing, it continues throughout their whole life and changes who they are. It's a centering aspect in your life, and it gives us so much. Yes, it does. How great is that? So go to your local Board of Ed meeting and tell them to drop some class that all the kids think is boring anyway. Start teaching fishing. Thanks, Dave. All right, that's it for this week. Thank you, Seafoam. Go to BassBlaster.com or .rocks to sign up for the Bass Blaster email. See you next week. God bless you.